Good day, everyone. I am Marshall the Scent Addict. This is my beautiful wife, Amy. And today, she's going to let us know her top 10 favorite fragrances that I wear. These are the 10 fragrances that really do it for her. They do change, kind of like the weather, but as I look at the top 10, these are ones that I do constantly get good attention from her when I wear. Real quick before we get started, please hit the subscribe button. Please ring the bell. Please do everything you need to do so you don't miss any future related fragrance content on my channel. Also, please leave a comment. Let me know what your significant other's favorite fragrance on you is. We'll be right back and we'll get started. All right, number 10, and these are really in no particular order, but number 10 is from the House of Creed. It is Silver Mountain Water. This is a musky citrus fragrance with a big green tea note. This fragrance is timeless. What do you like about this fragrance?
Well, like you said, it's timeless, it's classic, it's so smooth. It reminds me of you.
I'm a timeless kind of guy. Yeah, this fragrance has been around for a long time and it holds up to this day so well. Other Creed fragrances, especially older Creed fragrances, smell a little bit dated at this point. I don't think Silver Mountain Water does at all. I think this would be just as successful today as it was 25, 30 years ago. And again, this is a nice spring summer fragrance. It's not a fragrance that I typically think of as sexy, but it works on her and that works for me. Anything else you want to add?
I think that this is a really good casual fragrance, you know, maybe Sunday afternoon after church, sitting around the house.
That's exactly it. An excellent office scent. This is just a real nice, clean, easy to wear, fresh fragrance with certain masculinity to it. And it's also a little bit mature. I don't think this is good for 18, 25-year-olds, but guys my age, this is our wheelhouse. Creed Silver Mountain Water. All right, next up, and this one is a little bit more sexy in my mind. This is called Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Kilian. Amy, what do you like about Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Kilian?
We got it in Chicago, one of our favorite cities, and so every time you wear it, it reminds me of that. I love the booziness of it, the apple, you know, it's just a nice, sexy fragrance.
It's a great fragrance. Oh my gosh, and she touched on all the important points, but the apple note in this is one of the best apple notes I've ever smelled. It's a silky, sweet, boozy apple. It's never too sweet, but it's perfectly done. Do you think this is unisex or do you think this leans masculine?
I do think it's unisex, but I really like it on you.
I like it on me too. This is a fall and winter scent, but I think this could work summer evenings as long as you don't go too heavy on the trigger. And it's just a nice, gorgeous date night scent. And it does just so happen to be one of my Chicago trip fragrances. This reminds me of Chicago because we bought it there on that trip. Apple Brandy on the Rocks by Kilian. Next up is another classic. It's a timeless men's fragrance from the House of Armani. It's Acqua di Gio, and my personal favorite, and I think her personal favorite, it's Acqua di Gio EDP. This is the 2022 flanker of Acqua di Gio, and this is the one they did right. This is the one that works best on me. And it also is the one that gets best results from her, which again, matters very much to me. And it probably smells like a half a dozen of her ex-boyfriends. Acqua di Gio has been around for so long, this DNA is just everywhere. Every guy my age has owned a bottle of Acqua di Gio at some point. It's that big for that long. Obviously, I was joking, but what do you like about Acqua di Gio, specifically Acqua di Gio EDP?
Just so you know, there were no boyfriends before you.
Never.
Ever.
Never. I was the first. I was
only. I just love it. It's sexy, it's young, it's fresh, it works every time. You wore Armani Mania a lot when we first started dating, and it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. So it's a little bit reminiscent.
Armani Mania, criminally underrated fragrance that unfortunately has long since been discontinued. But yeah, this was one of the fragrances I wore most when we first started dating. Great fragrance. Acqua di Gio, I think this is one's a little bit more recognizable. It's got that marine nuance to it that's never been done like Acqua di Gio. And again, this fragrance line is so much a part of men's fragrance these days. You know Acqua di Gio when you smell it. The EDP is a little bit fuller. It's got the perfect amount of sweetness. It's got the perfect amount of marine notes. Everything just came together perfectly on this one. And that's why I like it. Anything else you want to add about Acqua di Gio EDP?
No, go get a bottle today.
It's a great everyday scent. Next up is from the House of Kierin NYC. This is called ScentXOne. And this, unlike a couple of those, this is actually a pretty sexy scent to me. This is a nice fall and winter date night scent. Amy, what do you like about this fragrance?
It's warm, it's spicy, sexy.
It is sweet, but not too sweet. It's just a really nice date night fragrance that I would suggest to anybody. This one is pretty criminally underrated and slept on. Go check this one out. Next up, and this one is the furthest thing from sexy. This is the least sexy fragrance, but somehow always gets her going. This is from the house of Nishane. It's called Ege. This is a green citrus fragrance, right? So there's mint, there's some basil, there's a awesome fresh yuzu note in the opening that doesn't last very long. This fragrance is more about the mint than anything. So it is very clean. It's not your typical sexy scent. Amy, what do you like about Ege?
Oh, it's just so good.
God. It works. It works every time. This is a spring summer fragrance. Again, it's very clean. How would you describe this fragrance?
Very clean, salty, seawater.
Interesting. It is ozonic. It is aquatic. There's a lot going on here, but it's never too complex. It's remains fresh and pretty simple. I'll tell you, for a fragrance this fresh, this realistic smelling, the performance is outstanding. The sillage will follow you wherever you go and last a very long time.
Follow you wherever you go.
But this just goes to show that you don't have to wear a spicy fall, winter, date night scent to be sexy. You just got to find the right fragrance that works for you and that works for her. Nishane Ege.
Wait, one more.
You might have to stop this video right now. We can keep going. We can keep going. Get your head in the game. The next one is one of those more recognizable fall and winter date night scents. This one is what I think most people would consider sexy. I certainly do. I think this is probably one of the most sexy fragrances I own. It's from the house of BornToStandOut. It's called Drunk Lovers. Amy, what do you like about this fragrance?
It's sweet, it's boozy, it's kind of syrupy. It is, it's just sexy.
It is, it is.
Yeah.
She said it perfectly. It's a boozy, spicy, woody fragrance with a nice fruity, berry-like sweetness on top. But it's the booziness that makes this thing sexy. It's perfect for date night. Perfect for date night, especially in the fall. I think you could probably wear this summer date nights in a more temperature-controlled situation. This is my definition of sexy. It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
BornToStandOut, Drunk Lovers. Next up is from the house of Brunello Cucinelli. It's Brunello Cucinelli Homme. This is a 2023 fragrance, I believe. We picked this up at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York, so this was one of my New York scents. So this, every time I wear it, I think of New York City. And it's one that every time I wear it, it gets her attention. I see her nose kind of perk up like, who's wearing that? I smell something I really like. It always garners positive attention from her. What do you like about this fragrance?
It's masculine. It's not too overpowering. It's smooth.
Understated.
Understated. It's sexy. Yeah, it's a confident man wears this.
Exactly. This smells like a confident man that knows exactly who he is. He's not trying to impress anybody. This is an aromatic woody fragrance. There's a touch of fresh spice to it. It's nothing you haven't smelled before, but it's done in a way that is luxurious smelling. It's done right. And it's a great first step for Brunello Cucinelli. I like that they didn't follow any trends with their leading fragrance. This is something that gets me excited about them building a brand. I'm excited about how they plan to build their brand after smelling this. So I'm definitely looking forward to more Brunello Cucinelli fragrances after this. And it's one that works on her. It's not a typical sexy fragrance. It would be an excellent signature scent for a confident man.
Agreed.
Brunello Cucinelli Homme. Next up, from the house of JusBox, is Good Morning, and this is not one of those typical sexy scents, but it is a scent that works for her. What do you like about this fragrance?
It smells like vacation. It's easy. Just has good vibes.
It does. Very easy to wear. It's a nice casual summertime citrus aquatic scent. It smells a lot like Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim with a bit of a clean laundry vibe underneath, almost a kind of soapy vibe underneath, something aquatic underneath. We picked this up in Philadelphia at Perfumology. Bought a bottle of something else and they gave me a sample of this because I was really leaning towards this fragrance. I walked out of the store, I showed Amy and the boys the sample they gave me and they said, you better go buy that right now. And I said, you are a bunch of enablers. The scent addict did not become the scent addict by himself. This is very fresh, very clean. Again, not particularly sexy, but again, if it works for her, if it works for you, that's all that matters.
It works.
And it's one that always gets her attention. JusBox, Good Morning. Next up, and this one surprised me. This would not be one that I would have guessed would make her top 10 fragrances today. But it's from the house of Stephane and Humbert Lucas. It's called God of Fire. Amy, why is God of Fire on the list today?
It's fruity.
Very fruity.
She
likes the fruity fragrances. One of her favorites is Kirke from Tiziana Trinzi. And there might be some similarities between the two.
But it's also manly.
I think it's pretty perfectly unisex. I think this is far too sweet to be manly, but I think guys can wear it.
I disagree. I love it. And I just want to follow you around when you wear it.
It's got a very nice sillage, an awesome mango note. Mango is big in the summer of 2024, and in no small part to this fragrance. It's sweet, it's loud, it's youthful, awesome mango note. You just want to go easy on the trigger in the summer because this thing is sweet and it's loud. It could give you a headache if you put on more than 4 or 5 sprays. But it's a big one this summer, and it's a luxurious smelling fragrance. Stephane, Humbert, Lucas, got a fire. And last but not least, and this one really doesn't surprise me that it's on the list, it's from YSL. It's YEDP. Amy, what do you like about YEDP?
It's fruity, it's summery. You wore a lot of YSL when we first started dating again, so it takes me back.
It does. The Y line has a bit of the same DNA as the original L'Homme line. This is the fragrance I was married in. This was the fragrance I was wearing when we gave birth to our first 2 children. And there's a similar citrus ginger thing going on. This is a little bit more mature. That's a little bit more youthful, but it's one that I wear a lot.
Yeah, anytime you wear it, I just know that, hey, that's my husband around the corner.
The Y line is popular for a reason. These things perform very well, and I think the EDP is the best performer out of the lot. This is the best one, in my opinion. In the EDP, you get the green apple note that hasn't been used the last couple of flankers. It's one that I can recommend to just about any guy. It's mass appealing, and it's a compliment getter. And some women find it sexy because it's clean and appealing. When do you see me wearing this? What does this work for?
It works for any time, all the time.
I set her up and she knocked it down. This is one of the best men's fragrances ever. From Yves Saint Laurent, it's YSL. This is my wife, Amy. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Will you come back and do it again?
Of course.
Not that girl. If you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and come back and see us next time.
Bye.
Perfect, baby.